I've done it again. This is the iPhone Air, and when it came out last September, I bought it with my own, with my business's money, and I told you guys, or anyone who watched that video back then, that I would stick with it for I can't even get my words out, for 12 months. And that lasted 2 months. I got to November and thought, no, it's just not working. I need to go back to the Pro Max, which is what I did. I went back to the iPhone 17 Pro Max, made a video about it because, links, clicks, and helicopter fuel, all of the stuff that we need as tech YouTubers. The reasons I went back to the Pro Max was because I've got a great big list here. I won't give you every single item in it because you'll get even more angry. The camera system on this wasn't good enough. The thinness USP, as I called it, disappears when you put a case on it because it becomes just a regular iPhone. The battery was fine on normal days, but when I started traveling, it started running out at 4 p.m. The single speaker placement, some people got very angry about this. There's one speaker up here, it's not stereo. And I got told off for this as well by people in the comments that this is apparently the wrong thing to do. When I listen to voice notes, I put my phone to my ear like that. With the iPhone Air, I kept doing that and turning it up thinking, where's the voice note gone? And forgetting that it was coming out of here. That was annoying. Cosmic orange. I just wanted cosmic orange, which is why I went to the iPhone 17 Pro Max. Those were the main things, really, that kind of didn't really work for me. And then, a couple of weeks ago, I was on a press trip speaking to someone who does this as well, and they said that they'd been through a similar thing, but they went back to the iPhone Air, and it's the best thing they've ever done. So, I've done the same thing. I couldn't stop thinking about the iPhone Air during that trip. I was just thinking, it's in the cupboard in my kitchen. I know exactly where it is. It's unloved, and I didn't give it enough chance. And of course, it's another opportunity to make another video. But joking apart, I've come back to this and I've realized I should have given it longer. I genuinely think I will stick with it this time. I've got 6 reasons that's the case. And well, let's just get straight into it. If you're anything like me, you've probably opened your front door countless times to find packages sitting there that you didn't know had arrived, just waiting to be stolen. Or you've missed your best friend knocking on the front door because you were in the garden. I've been using the Tapo D235 recently and it solved all of those problems in about 10 minutes. It's a smart video doorbell that uses AI to actually think for itself and for you. The AI detects whether it's a person, a vehicle, a pet, or a package outside your front door, so you don't get a notification every time a car drives past or a leaf falls off a tree. The 2K 5 megapixel camera is razor sharp day and night, and there's even a color night vision with a spotlight built in. But what I love the most is that there's no subscription. You simply install it outside your door and the installation process is very straightforward. If I can do it, you can do it. You pop a micro SD card in and that's your storage sorted up to 512 gigabytes. The battery lasts 6 months and you can hardwire it in if you want 24/7 recording. Either way, it is incredibly easy to set up. To find out more, click that link in the description. Number 1, the form factor is almost perfect. It's not quite as perfect as the iPhone 13 mini, which is Apple's best ever iPhone, but imagine if that was that size. Anyway, we have the iPhone Air now, and I think it's almost there. It's thin, it's light, it fits in any pocket without being any problem whatsoever. I can use it one-handed, so if I'm walking the dog, I can text like that. I can't do that with the iPhone 17 Pro Max. They've got it just about perfect. If only, Apple, you did a smaller version, please. Number 2, the thinness does matter. It's not a gimmick. I think some people understandably are a little bit nonplussed by thin smartphones. Who asked for thinner smartphones? We want them thicker, we want them to have better batteries, better cameras, etc. I get that completely. However, when you start using this, you realize that it's actually a benefit. So all those things I mentioned a moment ago, the one-handedness, the ability to put it into any pocket and not worry about it, they really add up. And it's the selling point of this phone, and it's the point that you can easily overlook. The best way to sum this up hasn't come from me. This has come from a comment in a video that I made about this on my second channel a couple of weeks ago. Someone said, and I apologize, I can't quote you directly, we'll put the comment down here, but that person said, it's not about the specs, it's about the experience. And the experience of the iPhone Air is the thinness. So whoever said that, thank you. Number 3, the battery life is actually fine. It really is. And again, I've seen this a lot in the comments from people who have been defending the iPhone Air because they've been using it themselves day in, day out. And most of them say, it gets me through a day. I get to 9 p.m. and it's still got 30%, 20% remaining. It's absolutely fine. What are these people doing who are running down their phones? I completely agree. And if I think back to my original experience with the iPhone Air, the problem that I had with the battery was when I traveled. So if I went even just to Europe, by 4 p.m, because of all the switching networks and all that sort of stuff, it needed charging. And that kind of tainted my experience with it. And if I think back to that period, I was traveling a lot, and I do a fair bit of traveling in this business, but I don't do that much. I'm at home more than I am on flights and in different countries. So it's absolutely fine. Just accept that you might need to charge it more than the Pro Max that you came from if you came from that phone. But for most normal people, and I am quite normal, I promise, it's great. It is. Number 4 is the camera system, which, this one, to be fair, is a bit YouTuber specific, so I do have to put my hands up here and say, look, this may not apply to you, but for me, the camera system is still very restrictive. There's no ultra wide. It goes up to 10 times zoom, but it's all digital and it's not fantastic. For me, for someone who takes a lot of photos for the business, that can be a bit of a problem. However, I have the benefit of having a second phone most days. So I have an Android phone normally, and that tends to have all of that stuff built into it. All of the optical zoom lengths, the ultra wide, everything. I get by with that, which is partly why I've come back to the iPhone Air, and partly why I think that person that I spoke to a couple of weeks ago had done the same thing, because we don't need two big chunky phones. A big chunky phone to do all the stuff, and then a lovely thin phone to do the other stuff. However, the standard camera on this is still fantastic, and it's still one of the best video shooters on the market. I've taken some lovely photos with this, and I've used it to shoot video for this business, so it's kind of almost there. And for most people who buy this, the camera is absolutely fine. Number 5, the speaker thing doesn't matter. Number 6 is a very Apple fanboy kind of aesthetic thing to talk about, but I don't care. It looks lovely. There's no getting away from the fact that this is one of the best looking phones on the market at the moment. I think Apple has nailed the thin phone thing. It just looks beautiful, and it's very tough. I'm not going to try it, but we have seen those videos of people trying to bend it and all. I'm sure Jerry Destroys Everything has destroyed it, but for me, I've got a lot of confidence in this phone. I can drop it, not worry about it, and it just looks lovely. And this brings me to my inevitable conclusion. As mentioned earlier, I made a video about this on my second channel a couple of weeks ago, preempting this video. By the way, if you haven't checked out the Mark Ellis Tech Diary, we'll put a link in the description. But what was interesting is that the majority of comments about this phone underneath that video were from people who have used it for several months, several weeks, and love it. Compared to the comments I was getting about it back in September when I first reviewed it, that's a big sea change. Back then, it was negative. It was a case of, oh, this will never work, it will fail, the battery's too small, one camera system, no stereo speakers, etc., etc. Fast forward a few months, and the people who have bought this and actually lived with it love it. And lo and behold, I've gone back to it and I love it. What does that say? I have no idea, but get involved down in the comments now. Let me know what you think about the iPhone 17. It's not called the iPhone 17, the iPhone Air. Have you got one? Have you not got one? Have you got something else? Get involved. I'll get involved as well. And if you haven't hit that subscribe button wherever it is, click it.